Okay, so a few of the takeaways from the book, not from us, says what makes one truly happy is what is done for the disinterested interest, doing what you want, for the joy that emanates from going beyond what should be done. Masyadong deep, no? Then man is designed and created by God to live the joy that emanates from the truth that makes him free. And then the fountain of joy is oneself. And when we discover the image of our own being and the love of God inside ourselves, we find an inexhaustible fountain of joy. The capacity of being astonished implies the capacity to enjoy. The interior conviction that God loves us makes us see it all from a true perspective, but at the same time, an optimistic, joyful, affectionate, and amazed perspective. Sorry, but I'm gonna go a little bit. There's this part here at the number 5. The capacity of being astonished implies the capacity to enjoy. It just popped up in my mind. It just reminded me of our national encounter trip when we heard about the talk on the Eucharist. The wow effect. Remember that? The capacity of being always wowed by the mass. It's something that they talked about so much before with a spiritual advisor, and that I really really love that talk, because sometimes we fail to see a lot of Catholics fail to see that wow effect every time we go to communion. So because God Himself is joy, according to Sister Cora Pettiglorio. So just put that in mind. Okay, let's go into the talk itself. Hi, Sister Daisy. Welcome back.
Hello.
Are you from the cruise?
Kind of.
You enjoyed the cruise? I saw some pictures. Looks fun.
Oh my. I'm here.
Tired, huh? But it looks fun. Which country did you go to, Sister Daisy?
Italy, France, Spain.
Wow, how fun.
I know.
So let's see. Oh, Sister Edith's coming in. And so let's go to the PDF file. Maybe I should make this bigger. All right. Can you see this better?
Yeah.
All right. So the last time we stopped to open up the just before the sense of humor. So let's just, for the sake of it, just read that last paragraph. To open up to the other is the art of the joyful man, and the source of joy is within ourselves, just like we read at the takeaway. In gathering the fruits of the seed we sow in our interior lives when we opt for this kind of life. Joy is the health of the soul, the interior peace, the capacity that makes possible the understanding of all things and acts as a shock absorber for all that we find incomprehensible. So that's where we left off. Any summary on that, Brother Art, that when we were going through this thing? Or we barely remember, huh?
The one thing that comes to mind, I think the 3 videos that we have talks about, in order to for you para maramdaman mo talaga yung joy, is the giving part. I mean, Sister Evelyn spoke about the joy of giving. It's yung pakiramdam. I can't find of any other other ways besides dun sa mga your own personal call it victories. It's sharing talaga. It's about the sharing, the giving. I made an example of Sister Edith during the Women's Weekend. You can see the pagod already, but yet there's no, hindi mo makita yung bakas ng hirap or bakas
Lalim
na.
ng Tagalog mo, Brother Art.
I know, I'm thinking of
Bakas.
Brother Ananda, but I
Bakas.
wanted
Bakas, my God, those are like what is it? Bakas again?
Para si balagtas yung bakas.
Yes, it's trace,
Ah.
not trace. Bakas, no way.
trace.
Yeah.
trace.
Marks.
Trace of
Footsteps.
tiredness.
Yeah. Hindi ko mahanap yung right word for it. But
Bakas is just right, I think.
yeah. Sorry if I have to use Tagalog, Brother Ananda. I will explain that word to you one of these days. But it's more of the giving. Unless there's something in you na discover mo for a while na ito pala yung kaligayahan. This is what it's supposed to be. And don't get me wrong, no? So one of the books that I have just started reading is The Conversation Between the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. They also talk about loneliness. But the relief when you have that is finding comfort with fellowship. In other words, you can just have one person and that's enough to sustain you. Or you can have 1 million listening to you and still give the same amount of joy that it delivers. So end of the day, I mean, it's here. It's source of joy is within ourselves.
It's great. Thank you, Brother Art. So, anyone
Sister
else?
Gid,
Yes, Sister Evelyn.
Sister Evelyn. A long time ago in the Philippines, I don't know if you remember,
Mhm.
and it was on television, that frequently there was an advertisement, but I just forgot which one. But this particular topic reminded me of I would say the logo or the phrase they use for the advertisement to express the joy. And I'm sure some of you remember that little passage that says, the joy of giving is, no, the gift of giving is a joy forever. Do you
Wow.
remember that in the Philippines? I just forgot. Mike, nare-remember mo ba yun? The joy of giving is the gift of giving is a joy forever.
Is that like a Christmas kind of ad?
Something like that. It's
Mhm.
in not here, but I know in the Philippines. So it just reminded me, and it's really very true. You know, when you give of yourself, the joy is forever. You know, you kind of savor that.
Right.
The feeling, parang nasa cloud 9. So I'm sorry, I just
No,
don't
that's
remember
fine. That's
kung
perfect.
ano yung advertisement.
I think the other word
That's
that was
all.
Yeah, the other word that was used and it came from Sister Daisy was the one that she quoted. Is that Rabindranath Tagore?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and the word that he used was service. So
service,
service
yeah.
equates to giving.
yeah.
Sister Evelyn. Sister Evelyn, and
Yes, I'm
suddenly
here.
this came into mind, in giving that we receive, there is a verse which goes like, in giving that we receive, that item, like there's a saying, right? When we do the service or something, when you listen to them mass and everything, or in the song, in giving that we receive.
That's in prayer of Saint
Anybody receive? I
Francis.
mean, remember that?
Yeah.
Prayer of
Oh,
Saint
yeah.
Francis.
Prayer of Saint Francis.
Yeah.
Francis,
We
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, okay.
It's in giving that we receive.
Also, I just want to add that yesterday, the homily yesterday was for the stewardship, right? Stewardship.
Yes.
And so the Father Baran keeps repeating over and over what stewardship is about. It's about the service. Gee, what did he say?
He said stewardship is knowing that God, that everything came from God, and our response is to give back a portion with a grateful heart.
Yes, with a grateful heart. And God only asked for a portion. And here we are. Sometimes we even forget that we are called to be a steward.
Isn't this conversation is an example of giving and receiving? So
Yes.
if Sister Cora, Sister Daisy, Sister Evelyn is sharing,
Mhm.
we are the recipient of the knowledge that they impart to us.
Right.
A small circle that keeps on giving.
Beautiful.
Is
Yeah.
there
Sister Cora?
okay. I was just thinking as I am listening to you guys. What is the giving, my particular giving that gave or gives me really real joy, right? And then what came into my mind, because my brother died like 10 years ago or whatever. And even before that, I used to support his family, his kids. Now it's his grandkids, send him to school and all that, right? But there are some of his kids, like abuse, I think, by giving.
Generosity.
Because, like, for example, Tita, I'm gonna take the board exam. Can you finance it? Okay, how much is it? The review school. Okay, 250. You sure you want to review? I mean, are you sure you're gonna take the exam, CPA exam? Yes, Tita, I promise you. Okay, you promise me, so you keep your promise, okay? So I gave her $250. What did she do? Oh, did you enroll? Oh, Tita, I'm so busy with work, so I did not enroll. I just do it next time. I said, didn't you say that's really your dream to be able to go to the review? Is on Tita next time. No more next time, said, you always, because she always lies to me, but I don't know why I'm so matigas ang ulo. So following year, she asked again for money, right? She will this time though go to the review. I said, you know what? What's that saying? Maloko mo ko once, and then maloko mo ko twice. I'm the dumb one already if I, still say yes. Promise you, Tita, this time it's true. So what did Cora do? Send her another 250, right? And she did not enroll again.
Wrong.
Okay,
Oh,
my
no.
question is, I kept giving, only for this particular situation. But there was no joy in my giving. Because as I was giving her the second one, in my mind is like, ay, nako, I'm sure she lies again. So was I at fault that I did not find joy in giving her? And she did not take the review. She spent the money again. So I'm asking you, do we qualify the giving here? Like maybe if it's really, I don't know how it will have joy. Yes, brother.
Yeah, I have an answer. And this is not, I'm not the original of this. This is from a friend, priest, because I have the same narrative, just like what you shared, but not close enough to what you shared. And what he said to me was, that is not the end of the narrative. You are just walking into a sentence that is not completed yet. Meaning the handing of the 250 is just part of an unfinished business or sentence. So it goes back to there's hope that he or she will take the board exam. In other words,
It's up to her. Like,
and well, on your part, console yourself that this is just, it's there's a comma to what you did. Hindi pa tapos ang sentence. Eh.
but the end is she did not take the review.
No, but that's not the end. She might.
Yeah.
She might,
But
right?
I was hoping, giving her a
I know.
second chance, she would, right?
Yeah.
But she didn't.
But
Until
that's
now?
No, she never took the. No.
How long ago was this?
Oh, years ago. She's now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well,
Pero
I'm just,
ang-
because we were saying joy giving and all that. So I was like thinking here by myself, yeah, there's joy in giving, but sometimes I find no joy in giving because I know they're cheating me or something.
But it probably have helped her in some other ways.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, I hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
okay, let's move on.
Okay. So before I go on, anyone else?
I just wanted to, the last sentence of what you read kind of captured my, of what joy is. Yung sinabi niya, joy is the health of the soul, the interior peace, the capacity to make possible the understanding of all things, and acts as a shock absorber for all that we find incomprehensible.
Uh-huh.
So that speaks a lot for me. I know we speak about joy of giving, but there's joy in other things, not just giving. And this kind of made it to me more like universal definition of what joy is. I had earlier I sent Brother Art and Sister Gid this. I saw it at Facebook, contemplative monk ata yun.
Yes.
And it says there, the fullness of joy is to behold God in everything. And that in that simple sentence, parang na-summarize to me what we're talking about. Kasi totoo naman di ba? Sometimes when you find joy in things that are not too joyful because you have God. You see God in the situation. So, that's that was my takeaway from what we're talking about.
So, for example, if you're giving to a beggar and you saw the beggar went off and went into buy some wine or liquor, parang ang tuldok mo yung pagbigay na no, Sister Cora?
To me, that's different. When I give,
Tuldok na.
when I give to somebody, sasabihin, ba't mo binigyan? Nakikita mo naman mukhang drug addict. That's his problem. I gave from my heart, right?
Yeah.
And whether he buys food with it or not, I don't
It's out of your
even
hands.
think about it anymore. I just give because like that. Well, when I see them and I can give, then I give. Walang tanong, wala ano, oy, mukha kang malaki ang katawan, look for jobs, no? I just give kasi sinasabi ko lang, for you, Lord. Pag when I
think-
say that word sa mind ko, that phrase, ang gaan-gaan nung loob ko doon.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
Oh, go ahead, Sister Daisy.
I think if you give, I think the word is unconditional. If you give it unconditionally, you live it and you're joyful. You gave it without
Yeah,
any condition.
Yeah. And, somehow it looks like they need it anyway. So,
Yeah.
No,
So at least ka na?
Well,
strings
I
attached.
don't, sometimes too, you have to be kagaya ng if you work, I mean, if you see somebody, you might might abuse drugs, for example. You don't have to, if they're asking for money, you could probably give something else if they're hungry, you know what I mean? So it's not very cut and dry.
that's what I'm saying.
So,
Baka qualification, may adjective yung
right, yes. But
Kaya
I
ako
think what you're
nag-bring up.
saying, what they're saying is, pag nagbigay ka, wag mong i-control yung kung saan nila gagawin. For example, nagbigay ka sa mahirap. Sabi mo, bumili ka ng pagkain.
Yeah.
But they need
Just
something
buy it
else.
then.
Right,
Feel
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
talking about joy, sorry, I talk too much. Kayo na lang.
No, go for it.
Now, talking about that, Sister Gigi, I think I already told you guys when I was with my grandson, he was like maybe 9 then or 8. And then I was babysitting and said, come on, let's have lunch. Okay, Lola, what do you want? Popeye chicken, Lola. Okay, let's go. So I drove there. And sa door, nandun this young lady, very big, tall and big, okay? And said, hi, can I have, asking for money. And so I was like, okay, I'll buy you lunch. I said like that. So I was gonna buy the, Popeye, combo.
Mhm.
And then my grandson jumped with joy. I said, Lola, that's what Dad did the other night. What do you mean? I said, we were having dinner. We're gonna have dinner, and then a homeless person or whatever. And then Dad said, okay, wait here. So they were in the restaurant. He ordered food for the person, and I did the same thing. And so my grandson was like jumping with joy, like, wow, his dad, who is my son, and I thought of the same thing. So he was really happy about it. So that's the joy. That joy is, to me, I saw the joy in his eyes that we were giving,
That's beautiful kasi that would affect him in the future. Maybe he could do the same.
So I bought and gave it to him, said, go give it to the lady. And the lady kept talking to him, interviewing him. And then when we got out of the Popeyes, I went to Target. Okay, you can choose a toy for yourself. Really, Lola? Yeah. So we got out of Target and we saw another person who is very young. This is where do you pass judgment? Very young, looks healthy, and then has the sign for asking for money, right? And so to me, it's like, okay, we were driving. Lola, another one, give me money. Okay.
That's pure joy.
I think
Ayun.
yung sa weekend natin, sharing the rolyo and giving witnessing is another form of
Yeah.
generosity, because to talk to strangers that you just met an hour ago or overnight the day before, kasi Thursday na meet natin sila, and then start sharing your experiences, difficulties in life. It's not easy, right? But in the end, you would hearing some of the candidate that with their witnessing, they got inspired how you tell them that in spite of all of that, here I am in front of you, buhay pa ako. And I am being blessed to be in front of you.
Mhm.
That's an internal joy, diba?
That's nice. Very nice. Yeah.
And
You see the change.
Mhm.
the joy of giving your time.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like this morning, I was at the mass and I saw a parishioner from the other church, and she seems much older to me this time. I said, "How are you?" After the mass, I usually don't talk because I rush out because I have to go walking. But I saw her and she looked lonely. So I turned around and, "Hey," I said, "Oh, why are you here?" I said, "Oh, I don't go to the." "Oh, good." Sabi ko, "So, but why are you here so early in the morning? Do you drive?" Because she's not much older, but she's older than I am. And it seemed like she could hardly walk. I said, "Did you drive coming here?" "Yeah." "Oh, you still can drive?" "Yeah." "Because it's my husband's death anniversary." And that's why maybe she looks so low. Naiiyak ako. So, mukhang ang lungkot-lungkot niya. Tapos naisip ko kasi she was old and by herself and driving by herself. She could hardly drive. So, naalala niya siguro asawa niyang patay na, you know. So, I was like, parang naisip ko na yung future. So I think giving time, sharing your time too is good, and sharing your time just as you listen and just say hi. How are you now?
Mhm.
And she thanked me. I wasn't expecting it, but she goes, "Cora, thank you very much." "Huh? For what?" I was like, "Just thank you." She goes like that, "For asking." "Oh, okay." That anyway.
Simple hello.
Yep.
Thank you, Sister Cora. Anyone else? Thank you, Sister
Thinking-
Gigi. Oh, Brother Ananda.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you do with love and joy and not with regret. So
Mhm.
whatever comes from the heart, that's what matters, Whatever you do with love and joy. Did you feel the joy when you did it? That's the main question.
Mhm.
No strings attached.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you,
When
Sister.
it's out of your hands, it's out of your hands.
Yes.
He's saying if we don't feel like giving, don't, because you won't feel the joy.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Wag
know
na
that.
lang.
But then, you regret if you don't, like,
Konsensya,
classify,
konsensya.
no, maybe she did, she would have, regrets, but whatever. God will lead you there.
Pikit mata na lang, Sister Cora.
Yeah.
If I can say something po.
Okay, Sister Winnie.
So, dun sa story po ni Sister Cora, yung sa joy, it says you get joy from the meaning and purpose of your action or your experience. So I think joy, it's a choice of whether you become joyful after you've given something to someone, if it's meaningful and purposeful, and also yung consequences. So palagay ko maybe you can just leave it because it's out of our control. So be prayerful na lang. I think my thoughts are just be prayerful on the actions that you do, because you get the joy just because you, like I said, it was meaningful and purposeful.
Thank
I
you.
have one last
Beautiful.
word.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sister Winnie.
One last word with dun sa Sister Cora. Well, once, twice, di ba? Kasi when we give, it's tied to an outcome. it's tied to an outcome, and the outcome is for her to do the review, take the exam. There's an expectation. But if you, I think if we relieve ourselves of expectations, and just say, bahala na ang Diyos, binigay ko na, pangalawang beses. Salty, medyo mapait dahil nangyari, but lack of expectations, it really parang hindi ka masyadong masasaktan.
Pero in that case, she was the one who said she was gonna go through review school. I did not expect that. I'm just saying she wrote.
I know that. Yeah.
So she made the expectation.
She put the expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yes, tita. Okay, I'll help you. Oh, niloko niya ako, right? Yung pangalawa, what is that? Tita, I promise you this time. Okay? You sure? Yes, okay. Send the money. No, nothing. And they said, oh, did you enroll? No, kasi tita. Okay, so I didn't feel joy in that, right? But tama kayo. Iwan na lang sa Lord. But what I'm saying, he said, give joy in giving. Hindi ko naman in-expect yun. Siya nag-promise. So,
But like Sister Daisy said, maybe that unconditional portion of it, of giving, is something that we really have to work on. So there's a lot of times that we do put conditions on a lot of giving. So Sister Evelyn, maybe you can kind of enlighten us. What type of giving should we pay attention to?
I remember my formation director, when I was in the Dominican class, spoke about the same topic about giving and worrying about what might the recipient do with the money. And she said that that's the minimum of charity that we can do, to not think about what the recipient is going to do. First of all, it was out of the goodness of your heart that dictated the action of giving. You saw the person and thought that he or she needed help, and you gave. And it's up for the person to do whatever you gave the person. But it's not up to us to think, anong gagawin niya sa pera? You gave out of the goodness of your heart. And she said that it's a minimum of our charity.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
it's more of the broken word that hurt me, not the money itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's more that than the money. It's like,
The broken promise.
yeah, exactly. The
May I
lie.
say something?
Who's this? Sister Edith?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
From listening to all the sharings, for me, it seems like what needs is for us to be open within ourselves, in order for us to experience, to be joyous, regardless of what the outcome would be. We have to open up ourselves, and it's up to us to be joyful or not. We have to open up our hearts. Whether the result of our giving could be good or bad. The fact that you gave should be a source of joy right there and then, with no expectations. So we have to opt for this kind of life, to be joyous. Like what this the last sentence says. We have to opt for this kind of life. And for me, yeah, once I give, I try to find joy and just pray that whatever that other party would do to what I give him or her would be good, regardless of how they utilize what I give them. So it's within ourselves in order for us to be joyous. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Edith. That
Thank
kind
you,
of
everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. That kind of reminded me when you said that, Sister Edith, of Lazarus, the one that was, is it, no, is that his name? No, Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus that went up the tree, right? And then
Yes, okay.
just because Jesus said that I'll be with you, I'll stay at your house, over your house. So much joy that he experienced from just Jesus saying that, right? And then he starts saying, I'm going to give this to the poor. I'm going to give that to this and that. So much that he wants to give just because Jesus is going to go over his house. So I think maybe not just to internalize joy into ourselves, but also to remember that God doesn't really stop bad things from happening. I read this morning. That's never been his part of the promise, but his promise is he is with us for always until the end of time. And I think that is a beautiful source of joy that we can carry around and become more generous because that God is there and he invited himself into our household or our own interior self. What do you
Yes.
think?
Very nice. I like that.
Cool. Sister Sheila, I think she's coming in. Yay. Our new member.
Yay!
Welcome.
Thank you, Sister Edith. That's good.
Thank you.
So we'll go ahead and start with the sense of humor since we're getting too deep into that. Sister Sheila, are you there?
Nagko-connect pa siya.
Nagko-connect pa. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and start. And when she's...
Sister Cora. Ito, tawarin ko ni Sister. Ano, so...
Multitask siya eh. Meron din kasing FCC meeting eh.
Okay.
PCC pala,
Yeah, I
PCC.
hear my mom downstairs.
Oo, pumasok yung meeting.
Kawawa naman, Sister Sheila. Isang tenga, SOL, isang tenga.
That's okay. We'll go ahead and go into this one. Okay, the sense of humor. Let's start. The wise say that we exercise our spiritual muscles by practicing a sense of humor. And this is very, very true with Eduardo Bonin. Remember that. This consists not only in answering in a relaxed way when we are approached graciously, but also replying graciously when we find others strident. Everyone can do favors. We all know how to tell a joke, but a sense of humor is not always at everyone's beck and call. I think that's beck and call, right? Not beck and call. A sense of humor is the art of knowing how to make relative what is relative and absolute what is in itself absolute. It is the capacity to treat the good and the bad in a relaxed and joyful way, basing our conduct on an essential prerequisite of logic. A sense of humor is another form of the sense of love. It is to know how to pass over things, as it were, to put quotation marks around them. It is another measure of affection, something like the view God must have of the world when he is looking at the movements and adventures of his creatures. An English psychologist wrote a book titled The Art of Becoming Bitter About the World. Wow. And two ideas from the book stayed in my mind. He said that we take life as a game whose first rule is Life is not a game. Life is something very serious. And the second one is, he held that men are unhappy because they do not know they are happy. This makes it clear, perhaps, that consciousness is the major source of human problems. Kabadevilla alleges, I think, therefore I do not exist. Joy is also a stage in man's life where he uses his sense of humor, and therefore he has power to control his personal pride. To be able to laugh at oneself is tantamount to reaching the height of this capacity. Wow, what is he talking about here? Can somebody help us here? Maybe Sister Daisy help us?
You know, one thing, what's noticeable about the author is he's a practitioner of oxymoron.
What is that?
A good practitioner of oxymoron.
What does that mean?
A figure of speech in which apparently contradictory terms appear in conjunction.
Sure.
Yes. There's so many examples in the there's nothing bad about it. Let's put it that way.
Seemingly.
Yeah.
But when
Indeed.
you said a sense of humor is another form of sense of love, what does that mean?
Well, I think you know, when nothing faces you, even though, you know, I think that's when you don't take things too seriously, because you see that somebody's, you know, sometimes people will hurt you, but because you see them as somebody lovable, you know them and you care for them, you just you take it on a stride and not take it too seriously. I think when you have that joy and peace within, you won't get so hurt by things, and you'll maintain that joy. So
The time that we perform, kasi tayo mahilig tayo pag magpe-perform tayo, magpa-practice tayo sa hapon lang or an hour or two. Then after we perform, we tried our best. We just laugh with all our mistakes. We're just kid about it that nagkamali ka ganyan, pinagtatawan. We're just making it joyful, not ikaw kasi nagkamali ka, ikaw kasi
So there's
is that counted?
So there's a thing of the sensitivity, right?
yeah. I think it's also humility. If you have that, you know, sometimes we have pride that when something goes wrong or something, somebody like said a bad comment, you will get so hurt. But if you know that if you have enough humility and knowing yourself, yeah, and it did say joy begins with oneself. If you know yourself, you won't get so offended. To say you know yourself, you have that, you have God, you have joy within, so you won't get so rattled when somebody made a comment about you or something didn't go right.
But that takes time for, I think, like somebody that's happy in his skin.
Yeah. Well, I had an example at work today. I was telling it, we had a bad day. I had an intake today with, obviously her disability, she said, was kidney failure, but I think there's a lot more. I think she has mental disability, which she hindi niya say, but yeah. But in the bottom line is she's basically accused, you know, us of not doing our jobs and that we're too, you know, she said, I don't want you guys to be nice. I want you to be efficient. Like we're not doing the best we are already. But, you know, I told myself, okay, it's easy to react when you feel attacked, But when you know that you in your heart knows that you're doing the best you can, you're just gonna have to say, okay, I see. It's kind of hard to see where they're coming from if you feel now you're being attacked. But in a way, you have to see that person and see where they're coming from, so you won't react so much. And and then sabi ko, oh, maybe because they're suffering too because of their disability, and so they were saying things. But I guess what the bottom line is, if you know yourself and you know you're doing good, and you have God within you, that it's not so easy. You won't get so easily offended or hurt by what people say, and you can maintain that joy.
Thank you.
The best jokes are the self-deprecating jokes.
If they get it, Brother Art.
Well, it becomes a challenge. So I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy who can tell a joke. It's not at my beck and call. It's not in my resume.
Just kidding. Okay.
But I will buy all kinds of jokes.
Pero parang mahirap yun, di ba?
Which one?
If you're being attacked and then you say, oh, it's okay, I can see, I will be joyful because I know I'm right. At that moment, you're not gonna think that way when somebody's telling you something bad, right?
Right.
But it speaks volume of the person who's telling the joke.
It can be done. I'm not saying it cannot be done. I'm just saying it will take a lot.
No, it's if the person is making let's say binibiro ka, is making a joke sa'yo, about you, it speaks more of him rather than of you, who's the recipient of the joke. Because he or she uses someone to make other people laugh.
Oh no, sorry. I was talking about what Sister Gigi said earlier, that
I think what I always have to, when at work, because we have so many people with mental illness. In the beginning, when I first started working there, every single na-offend ako. I take it personally, And then I think after so many years and understanding the kind of illness they have, it's not about you. The person is so it's more of the dying to self, although it wasn't, just maybe seeing the person in front of me. Now it's not about me, it's this person which I just met, maybe going through something, and I think maybe it's going again away from the topic of joy, but then I think you have to learn to love the person in a way na he's an image of God. Hindi mo pa siya kilala, but he's an image of God.
I think that will help.
Right. Yeah.
Try to find Jesus in everyone, maski yung nakaka-hurt sa'yo.
Kaya nga yung sinabi na ko na lang message sa na joy is finding God in everything. Kasi sometimes it is hard, but then there's also another phrase that says you will not find and meet anyone who God does not love. So, and that's a call for me anyways, for my line of work. So there are good days and bad days, but
at least Sister Gigi, they're kind of mentally challenged. So mas madaling i-forgive sila.
Okay lang, ang hirap. Sometimes they catch you off guard. All of a sudden you're being cursed at, or accused of something. Yeah, but it comes with the line of work. It's pretty normal stuff.
Well, one of the things that I noticed, though, that there's a lot of comedians out there, very, very well known. One example is Robin Williams. that went through a lot of I know depression. So in outside you could see them happy and make you laugh, everything makes you happy, but not necessarily that the person giving all those jokes is happy. So there's a difference here with the sense of humor they're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is that difference?
That's that's their job. It's a job to them. This one speaks of something from you. You know, how to deal with life. Yun is like trabaho nila yun, but they don't mean it. They make you laugh, but it doesn't really come from their heart. Yung, ibig sabihin, artificial, superficial lang yun.
Superficial.
This one is within you.
Something
It will help
interior,
you
right?
live.
Something interior.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this one will help
Think
you
Sister
deal with.
Cora, I think they're acting or something like that. That's their job. Acting
Yeah.
and making.
They get paid to do that. It's
Yeah.
not a real sense of humor. And look what happened. I was really shocked when I found out he killed himself. So
Yeah.
I had the same idea. Huh? He makes me laugh and then he's
Yeah.
depressed.
Right.
You really don't know what goes on within a person's mind and heart
Yeah.
sometimes.
It speaks more of the person, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That other guy, the one who talks about food all over the world, sa CNN.
Oh yeah, what is his name? Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, Bourdain.
Bourdain, yeah.
Bourdain.
Yeah, that's a shocker too.
That's a shocker too.
He looks like he's so collected, right? But
Ah.
Yeah, but he's a heroin addict, if you know it.
Oh, he
Oh
is?
really?
Yeah, he is. Part of
Wow.
his life is he was into heroin.
Wow.
So if you only see him on the Food Channel, Food Network, and all that, then
CNN.
you don't know his backstory.
so therefore that power of the interior self is something that we have to really,
Yeah.
The one you cultivate.
cultivate.
The definition ng sense of humor is, it says the ability to find things funny. I think that for me the word there is the ability, because you have to have that ability to be able to see the funny. Hindi man funny haha, but yung kind of like take it by
Laugh it off.
you laugh it off, because otherwise, yeah.
Otherwise, papakamatay ka rin.
What's amazing is that, remember that guy that you showed us, Brother Art, the one without legs and feet, legs and hands or limbs, but he is always invited to all the shows or TED Talks. What is his name? Anyway, he seems so collected and happy as he is. And that's it's just mind-boggling.
Yes.
But I think it goes back to where I
The
said,
faith. The faith, right?
Yeah, when you have someone in front of you, then you have someone to exercise with verbally. If you have someone, you're facing a million, it's the same thing. You have a fellowship. It's when they are alone. That's the story that we don't know. Can they be calm and collected as they are when he or she is on a one-on-one or with a million people?
And then I think, and one of the things that separates, let's say, a sibling here that we know, because we know of two kids that were adopted. One was able to experience love from the person that took care of him, but the girl didn't experience that love, and so messed up her life. So there's a problem there, right, in love. And so she wasn't happy with herself for a long, long time. Until now, she has all kinds of issues. But the guy that was loved when he was young is so different. So there's something there, right, about love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why here they say sense of humor is another form of sense of love.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it is the love that the person experiences.
But how come there are parents who really truly love their kids and brought them up really, really lovingly, and yet some kids will still turn out unlovable?
Choice. It's the
Doing
kid's
things.
choice.
I'm sorry.
It's probably
By
the
choice.
peer pressure
It's a
in
freedom,
school.
right, Sister Dedit?
Yeah.
Or
Freedom.
the other environment, peer, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
as they go out into the world, they read books that are not that opposite to love.
It all boils down to their choices.
Yeah, but the formation is there, is what Sister Cora say. They
Yeah, the
have been,
formation is there, but they because of the choice to ignore the formation, they turn out different.
they have not been formed properly, regardless.
The prodigal
I
son.
also,
I'm
Yeah.
sure he
I
was loved
also
too,
think
the prodigal son.
Yeah, that's true, Sturgid, huh? The prodigal son's a good example.
He was loved too, just
I
like the other
also
guy.
think that ang peer pressure
Very
uh,
strong.
plays a role in the development of a kid.
Mm.
Mhm.
Kasi no matter how formed they are at home,
Mhm.
you have no control once they go out.
True.
They go out
The
in the
environment.
world.
Yeah,
You
the
know
environment.
the environment, friends,
Society.
the society. So we should not stop really making sure na yung formation we did for them at home, they will carry it with them even if they are out there in the world. Kasi yan ang number one na for me na nakakasira sa isang bata.
Mhm.
Kasi some, they have to prove themselves. Oh yeah, I can do that, even if it's a bad choice. So I think it's the peer pressure or any influence by the society or the environment.
Yeah, maybe
Very
this
true.
reason too sometimes that there are parents who don't bring up their kids well and yet turn out so good, right?
Mhm.
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 Because it so happened that they were surrounded, the peer that they happened to choose are good friends, good influences. Maybe, or maybe just by sheer luck. Or syempre,
It's God's plan.
Well, here's the answer for the next one. Faith is the source of joy. Maybe we should just continue here. Okay. So finally, I would like to say that joy is the result of individual effort to understand and assimilate the outstanding reasons a man has to feel joyful. History has presented us with the reasons. In fact, they are unmistakable. Knowing freedom, we said that, Sister Edith.
Mhm.
Faith that opens us the door to the eternal, that is always open, light in moments of darkness, the hand of a companion in loneliness, signpost at the crossroad, and the self-confidence to keep a firm hand at an impasse. For that reason, joy always supposes something more than the absence of sadness, just as happiness always supposes something more than the absence of problems. This is because we humans have motives, with motives as part of our lives. We are men and women who are radically joyful. We have been given a gift, a great and powerful motive to be joyful. You notice that the joyful is in big letters, right?
Capitalized, huh?
A capitalized, yeah, capitalized letter. So we have the gift of Jesus Christ. His life, and above all, his resurrection, is the supreme moment in which mankind becomes sure of his freedom, the moment in which he has a powerful reason to always feel joyful, because now he can speak about life in big letters, L-I-F-E, in capitals, because life is now more powerful than his own limits, than his own death. Now that we know that life is not one light between two nights, but rather a perpetual dawn, we have a boundless motive to be and to feel joyful. So here it is. What can we say about what's your takeaway on this? Faith is the source of joy. Hello, Sister Sheila. Are you saying something? No? Okay, okay.
I think the kingdom of God and the eternal life has been given to you. So be joyful.
Thank you, Brother Nanda.
Yeah.
This is Sister Evelyn.
Sister Evelyn, go ahead.
Yes, you know that the faith itself is a joy, gives us so much joy because we have faith in the resurrection. As Brother Ananda has said, we are welcome in our eternal home because it was Christ who opened the heaven for us. And our faith tells us that this is very true, that it's not like a story that has been made up, but even though we have not experienced it because we haven't died or we haven't faced the final judgment, our faith is joy for us because we have faith in the resurrection and we are saved by Jesus Christ, who is joy himself.
How about,
Thank you, Sister Evelyn.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Sister Winnie.
Oh, how about joy is an assurance or confidence that God is in control of our lives. And so we, like I said earlier, that joy is a choice. It's just my take on it.
Say that again, Sister.
Oh, that joy is an assurance or confidence that God is in control of our life.
True, true.
And that joy, being joyful is our choice, either be joyful or not. But we can be assured though that God is in control.
Thank you, Sister Winnie. Anyone else? Yeah.
Yeah, Sister Daisy.
Sister Daisy.
I think just certainty. When we are certain and we are not unsure, we really are joyful. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to think on the grandiose thing. If you're certain, you're happy.
Mm-hmm. You have that
So
confidence.
faith is certainty. You know, faith is really you're certain. You're sure. So faith is the source of joy. It's really certainty. You know, your conviction. You're really you believe in it. So you're joyful.
Well, one of the things that reminded me of this is Pope Francis himself. He always talks about the being joyful with the contrasting sad Christian faces. They said
What did you say?
he said here, Pope Francis, you know, he has always a lot of sayings about having sad faces or sad Christian faces, which are more like pickled peppers, he said. Sometimes these Christians with sad faces have more in common with pickled peppers than the joy of having a beautiful life. If we keep this joy to ourselves, it will make us sick in the end. This is Pope Francis. Our hearts will grow old and wrinkled, and our faces will no longer transmit that great joy, only nostalgia and melancholy, which is not healthy. And this is Pope Francis. He likes to make fun of people having sad faces. So if you look in Google and put Pope Francis and sad faces, you'll see a lot of his quotes. He said, "No such thing as gloomy faced saints," he said. "No one has ever seen a saint with a sad face," says Pope Francis. So, so those are the things he said about people with sad faces. I think because the pictures of the priest that he had, he doesn't like it when everybody is like still and having sad faces instead of happy faces.
Yeah. You know, I agree with that. Being joyful is a matter of also what somebody said earlier.
Choice.
It's your decision to be
Choice.
joyful.
Yeah, it's a choice. Yeah.
Choice. Like the other day, you guys, I don't know if it's only me, but sometimes there are days for no reason I feel depressed. Well, that's not the word, but you know, you just feel sad. That's me, okay? So when I feel that way, like what we always say when we wake up in the morning, you should be grateful for the morning, right? But sometimes when I wake up, it's like, so it's like sad, especially if you had problems the day before or bad experiences. So one day I talked to Jesus when I woke up. I said, "I'm really sorry. I know you did not create me so that I'll be unhappy, okay? So I said, I turn everything to you and I will try. Well, not I'll try. I said, I've decided to make this day a happy day for me. I will make it a happy day." And so I walk out of the bedroom and I said, "I've decided I'll be happy today." I even told that to Noe.
Sister Cora, I could see that in you.
He was looking at me like, "Okay, what's happening to you?" So I said, "Nothing." I said, "I just decided I'll be happy today." And you know what? Come to think of it, now that I think back, that day I was happy the whole day. Oh my God.
But it's true, right? It's a choice. It's a choice.
Instead of
Anyone else want to?
bulking.
This weekend, nag-serve kami sa St. Raymond Youth. About 50 youth. They have this retreat for their confirmation.
Oh.
So the Cursillo group was assigned at the kitchen. So we have the Fremont team, Our Lady of Fatima, Sister Josie, and Brother Oscars were there. Sister Joy and her husband Jeff, Fremont, Sister Norma, Adacabas, and the Arqueros, and Chosen Black Me, Edna, Cecilia, and we have also Sister Bell Purification and Brother Nap. So, you know, being the kitchen is not easy. We just had one meeting because we are all trained what to do. So this is the menu. Whoever wants to be dishwasher, go ahead. Whoever wants to do this, can. So we have somehow a general assignment, but because of our experience, we always take the initiative that, okay, walang gumagawa nun, so I will do that. At the end of each meal, it's not, as we know, as if you're assigned in kitchen, all the strength and energy used up, diba? But at the end, at the night, you still have, while you're doing the heavy stuff, washing this big pans and tons of plates, while you're doing it, you're still having that jokes, sharing jokes and kulitan that made the job
Light.
easier, diba? Light, yes, light. And you know you're doing that because that's the only way to feel God's presence, no? To do service. Some people define happiness by having a lot of material things. But for us, we know that having this kind of suffering, may it be in health, physical or mental or what, or financial, we always have that at the end of the tunnel, there's always light, the hopes. That's why we find that joy in every along the way as we go to that end of the tunnel. I think that's why faith is the source of joy, because we have that faith that doing this suffering is the only way to be closer to Him. Having all these material things is not actually joy. We're giving you only a minute of happiness. That's for me.
Thank you, Sister Doris. That's nice. And that's great service.
Yeah, I think I will mention that in Secretariat. It's one way to reach out different parishes to also to propagate what is Cursillo all about. Father Eric was so happy seeing us, watching us, doing our work at the same time, having fun. Tawa siya ng tawa with everything that we say something, tawa siya kagad, ganyan. Tapos even the facilitator of that retreat somehow never realized that they will taste the delicious Filipino food. Hindi pa daw nila naranasan na they were given such food with a very less budget, because the budget is 4,500 but we only use up 2,300. So may sukli pa sila.
Oh, that's nice. Actually, also the Cursilistas of Sacramento Diocese, as I have heard from Deacon Ben Agustin when he sends out all these emails to us, they also have this table or something, La Mesa, or I forgot what they call it, but they also serve some kind of, the homeless thing, people, and that makes them pretty strong in their friendship too. And yeah, I'm sure it also gives them that joy because they're giving to the homeless, giving service. So yeah, that's a good way of experiencing the true joy, the service, right?
Same time we propagated, well, we have Cursillo weekend, so we're eyeing two guys, and they said yes. So we have two candidates for men. Hopefully, yeah. So we sent them
nice.
already the schedule. I think the spouse and the girlfriend will go as well.
Wow.
Young people.
Young, they're young. 30s.
Oh,
so
that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Sister Banji was there. No, I forgot to mention.
Very nice.
You're right, Sister Doris. It's a good source of candidates too.
Yeah, kasi we have 1 year pa to know them more ba.
And they can see you guys happy, so they always say, "Why are you guys so happy?"
Yeah.
Okay, might as well join.
it's a great way to create hunger for God, is to show that joyful attitude, no?
Mhm.
Nainganyo sila eh. Especially knowing lahat kayo kursilista. Oh, there must be something there.
Mhm.
How
Yeah.
come you're all so happy? So
Saka Sister Lopez.
I think when people are seeing us joyful and always happy, and they're wondering why they're always happy, what's
Mhm.
going on that? You know,
Yeah.
and they try to discover, and they eventually become our friends, and they join the movement. They see us. There's something on the what do you call that? On the that there's something within that kind of easily project into our face. The
Mhm.
smile, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Very true. Thank you, Sister Sheila.
Mhm.
Anyone else? And then we'll continue on to hope. Hope is the attitude that saves us. Faith in Jesus Christ is the joy that brings us hope. We now know that it is not just hope in the future, but a hope able to conquer the impossible of the here and now. It is a means to clear and relax feelings and sentiments faced with the lack of understanding, faced with a lack of response, often from persons with whom we live, or faced with the disdain of those who label you because they don't know you. We all encounter anxiety and anguish on our paths through life. The hope that I am talking about is the one that always opens the road to our further steps and leads us again to feeling eternal, joyful, graced. The hope that helps us find again the beauty of the serenity of our countenance, which leads to the possibility of warming ourselves in the joyful currents that strengthen persons of faith. Because Christ is more than the herald of the transcendent. He is the friendly hand who fills me with courage today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. Courage to understand that the challenges of earth always have solutions. When we interiorize the knowledge that God loves us, that Christ is my friend, and that the Spirit is with us, this becomes the most powerful reason for us to speak with terms teeming with joy, the most powerful reason for the existence of joyful people in this life. Cleopas and his companion discovered this when they were walking one evening on the road to Emmaus. They asked Jesus to stay and eat with them because, without knowing that it was he, they were attracted by his words. They knew him in the benediction. Evidence made them pass from despair to hope because they saw that he had risen from the dead, and they changed their lack of understanding into joy. The same has happened to me in hours of frustration, of darkness, and of feeling trapped by circumstances around me. During moments when it seemed that all efforts to reach the truth made no sense. It seemed that there be not such a thing, that it didn't exist. But life had turned its back on my struggle. But while working on the preparation of this talk, a spark of joy has renewed my stance in this world. I have felt that I trusted again, confident that beyond what I could see lay what I hoped for. My joy pretends it has bumped into me as soon as I resume my search for truth. Something has started again in me. This is the role of my conversion, and when I wake up, I repeat to myself that song. Come, sing, dream songs, dream about the new sun, in which man will again become human beings. What better reason for joy than the hymn to joy itself? and not only now, but in all the days in which I must repeat on awakening. Listen, brother, to the song of joy, de colores. That's the end of the joy topic. Yay. So let's go back. He said a lot here about hope. Anyone? I just want to share something that popped in my mind. Back in the days when I was by myself in a studio, and I was desperate, and I was in despair, and I could say that I'm really in the most bottom part of myself. I didn't have anything, no prayer, no nothing that I could hang on to, and I was in a sense of already like wanting to die. And the only thing is, at nighttime after work, I have a lot of overtime. After work, I always tune into this Christian songs. I don't remember what channel was it, but anyway, it's Christian songs. And one of the songs that really kept me going in my life is this song, and it's one of my favorite one to always lift me up during this time of desperation. Why? What is it? Why so downcast, O my soul? Put your faith in God. I don't know if you've heard that before, but it's like an a cappella sang by few men, and oh my God, that alone saved me. That song, it came up on the right time, right place. So to me, that was my prayer. It's a psalm, I think, right, Sister Evelyn? Why so downcast, O my soul? Put your faith in God.
Yeah, I heard of that song.
Oh, you have it? Who's this?
Uh,
Sister
I
Evelyn?
think it's a song. I think it's a song
It is a song, yeah.
and a prayer as
And a
well.
psalm, right?
Yeah. I think we say that in morning, in the morning prayer.
Oh, really? Wow.
It's a song.
Yeah.
It's a song of praise.
Yes, it is. By
Yeah.
it's a worship song. So one of that's Psalm 42. There you go. Psalm 42.
Yeah, Psalm 42. Yeah, that's why it's included in the morning prayer. So we say Psalm in between.
It's
the
Can I read?
Psalm 42.
Why are you downcast, O my soul? Why so disturbed within me? Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise him, my Savior and my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that song repeats over and over and over, and it's just enough to make you feel uplifted again. That's just my encounter during that very, very low moment. Anyone else?
Thanks for sharing, Sister Gid.
Oh, thank you, Sister Edith.
In my presentation, I'm going to ask everyone permission, because I will share some snippets of the book club.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. How I'm gonna do that, I'll find out.
Brother Art, my fee is
Should I talk to your manager?
Yeah, you know, sister, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, Sister Evelyn.
So, you know, they say God talks to you maybe in a dream, in places, in people,
Mhm.
and in your case, in that prayer. In my case, at times it's a song. Sometimes, you know, you feel so desperate, downhearted. But then, you know, when you hear some type of songs, especially church songs, which are again taken from Psalms or have been composed by, you know, a famous composer like our very own Filipino composer, Father Manoling Francisco.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's so, you know, it just lifts you up. It just, me, I know,
Yes.
particularly me, it just lifts me up.
Mhm.
So I know that God speaks to us, and especially in my case, it's more on the songs, and it's very soothing, you know, after a while, hearing it and repeating it and almost making it a prayer.
So true. Thank you for sharing, Sister Evelyn. How do you feel hope, especially in those times? Anyone else? And get your joy back.
Minsan you feel like, yun, sinabi ko sa inyo earlier, nahihiya ka sa Lord, you know, when you like sulk there and feel like, oh, I'm so ganun. But then you remember that God loves you and you always say, I love you, Lord. And yet you sulk there in your sadness. Seems like you're being ungrateful. So you get this something from within that will tell you, hey, wake up. You're not that, you know, you're so blessed.
Mhm.
Para kang biglang, I say, okay, Lord, for you, I will try to get out of this. So that's, I think that's what gives me hope. And you think of other people that are hindi naman sa you're joyful. Somebody's in worse place than you, but you really should count your blessings, you know, then you will go beyond your sadness and all this. These two will pass. And true
These
enough,
two will pass.
yeah, true enough, in a few days, you will not even think of that. So
Things comes to pass. So hope is like an extender to
Sister Cora,
mm,
you just reminded me of a song by Gary Valenciano.
Uh-oh.
And it
I like to hear this one.
goes, I'm not gonna sing it, but I'm just gonna say,
yeah, okay.
I'm just gonna say the word. I'm
What's the
sure all
title,
of you
sis?
have heard this song, but it's, I
Sing
don't know.
it.
I just remember yung one line. Sabi
Okay.
niya, oh, take me out of the dark, my Lord.
Oh,
And I wanna be
yes.
there.
I love that
Yes, right?
song. Yes.
Ano sabi niya? Take me
Yeah.
out of the
Take
dark.
me
Just
out of
heard
the
it
dark.
recently.
And
Take me out of the dark, my Lord. Yeah.
okay, maybe
Ano ba yung may, and I wanna be there.
Sister Doris, alam mo yan. What is it?
It's and he composed this song.
YouTube.
Take me out of the dark. I just remember that when you were saying,
Yeah.
Sister Cora,
Yeah.
like
that's-
one morning you woke up and you felt so
I will sing.
guilty.
Jonathan,
And you
title
just said,
nun.
Lord, I shouldn't be.
Yes.
Yun
Take
ang
me out of
title
the
niya.
dark, my Lord.
A good
Yeah.
one, Sister
Yeah.
Evelyn.
So
a
I
good
just
one.
remember that song.
I haven't heard of it, but that's a good one. I will
The Lead Me Lord yata yun eh.
YouTube mo nga, Sister Gid.
Okay.
Yun
Gary
lang ang title,
Valenciano.
Take Me Out of the Dark.
Ganun ba?
Yeah, Sister Doris.
Iba yun, Lead Me Lord, iba-iba yun.
Ay ba yun?
While
that-
you're looking for it, my favorite is the Stay With Me, Lord, the prayer of Saint Padre Pio.
Oh, really?
Heard
Hindi ko
of it?
narinig yan.
Stay with me, Lord. Da-da-da-da-dam,
Sino
da-da.
ang pumunta?
Ay, hindi ko. Teka, hanapin
Hindi
ko.
ko narinig. Maganda. Maganda. Okay,
By
Sister
your phone.
Evelyn, take me out of the dark, my Lord. I don't wanna be there.
Yan. And then tapos yung parang pinaka-ray, my Lord, di ba?
Yeah.
Take me out of the dark, my
My
Lord.
Lord.
Sister
Sister
Doris, go ahead
Doris.
and share it.
Okay, hanapin ko sa YouTube.
Nakita mo, Sister Doris?
I think, Jerusalem itong nakikita ko. Sandali.
That can take you out of your sadness too.
Okay.
Are you gonna put it up?
Take
Yes,
me
she's
out.
working on it.
I have it.
Oh, good. Go ahead.
Yung
While,
lyrics na lang.
while you're looking at it, I just wanted to congratulate Brother Ananda for the stamina.
For the what?
Yeah, oo nga. For bearing with us
Yeah.
speaking Tagalog.
He's used to OLGC.
Yeah. We need to
with
have
us.
one or two more brothers here.
He already knows how to talk in Tagalog.
Actually, we talk about him during this weekend. We said that we admire Brother Ananda. Of all the nationality that join us, it's only Brother Ananda that stick with us. Yeah, and loved us no matter what.
Disappear, Brother Ananda. Don't disappear, okay?
Be with us.
Check ba, Gigi?
Yeah, amazing transition from Hinduism to Catholicism.
O sa cellphone.
No, it's Amazon Music.
Yan na ba?
You guys can hear it ba? Hindi.
It's a very old song ng
Brother Art, baka gamitin mo background music. Gary Valenciano.
This topic is joy.
Yeah.
Three-letter words, J-O-Y.
Why?
That's Tagalog already.
Okay, that's pretty much the.
So, Sister Cora, you can add that to your prayer in the morning.
Yeah. I will, yeah. I will listen to it first thing in the morning.
Now we finished the book.
Yes.
Yay.
Brother Hart,
Yes, sir.
Brother Art.
is there like a J-O-Y? There's a saying for something about J and O and Y. Is it Jesus over you or something like that? No, is it J stands for something and O and Y, you know. Is it Jesus over you or
Jesus.
something? Or, I don't know. I forgot what, you know,
Call that acro.
J.
It hasn't crossed my mind yet, Brother Ananda, but
J O Y, yeah.
JOI. Hopefully
Yeah.
something will come across. Yeah, long 2 years for this book, right? Is it?
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years. So are you happy, Brother Art?
I am.
Joyous.
Joyful.
I mean,
Joyous.
yeah, I mean,
It's always
this is
joyful.
the best thing that
Ever
at least
happened
from
to
what I have seen. When I walk in again into the movement, there's the SOL, of course, the weekend, but this is something